Hey, what's up, y'all? It is November 1st. The new greeting of the month is Wakanda Forever. All right, so when you see me at the door, you're going to see me like that. Okay, so I'm assuming if you're watching this video, maybe you weren't here today. No big deal. We're going to go over CER best practices and then the CR Explorer #2. You're going to start writing that. It is due on Friday, so make sure to get your agenda. It's right here below. All right, I'm moving on to the next one. If you need to pause, handle that business, okay? Cool. So here we are. We've already taken these notes. So the things that you're going to need today, like right now, you're going to need your journal. Okay, so that's one thing you're going to need. You're going to need your journal, and then you're also going to need your scientific notebook. So you're going to need both of these things side by side. So make sure you have your journal out, and then I don't know where my scientific notebook is, but I will find it here momentarily. Let me pause. I'll be right back. Okay, cool. So we're going to take some notes in our scientific journal, okay? In our journal, we're going to take some notes, turn to a brand new page, and put this note in there. The first note is that the claim must answer the question, right, or prompt. And you guys have seen that inside of our CERs, that the claim must answer the question or the prompt. Be specific in your answer, okay? So make sure you get that written in your journal. Once you've done that, pause this screen, and then what I want you to do is just go take a look at your CER, like that you're working on right now. And the one that we're working on is on page 62, but whichever CER you're working on, take a look at that and be like, what is my question? And then bam, what also does my claim actually answer my question? So again, on here, we have right here, they say rewrite the question, and then you should put your claim right there. So is this question that you have right there, is it answered by your claim? So that is very important. So make sure that you pause, take a chance to do that. If it doesn't, right, and if you don't have your question, then you probably need to go back and find your question, rewrite it on there, and then make sure that your claim actually answers that. All right, we're on to the next one. So evidence. Now, you need a minimum of 3 pieces of evidence. Yeah, even if you're at home, repeat that with me. 3 pieces of evidence, right? Hold that up. So make sure to get that written inside of your journal, and then Mr. Farr is going to keep talking, but if you need to pause, get this in your journal. A minimum of 3 pieces of evidence. Now, if you take a look at this evidence here, they have a plane, and it's made out of what? Construction paper. And then the mass of it, because they found the mass of it, is 20 grams. Now, the average flight distance for that plane, because it looks like they applied a force and tried to make it fly, is 3.5 meters. This would be one piece of evidence. And again, you do not see any sentences in there, right? You just see bullet points. So your evidence should be bullet points. And again, this is evidence pertaining to the flight distance and the mass of one plane that they had that was made out of construction paper. Then the next one would be maybe a plane that's made out of computer paper, and what was the mass of that, and then what was its average flight distance. That would be your second piece of evidence. Then maybe they move on to a third piece of evidence, which is a plane that's made out of lined paper, right? And what is the mass of that, and then what is the average flight distance for that, right? So again, that is how your evidence should be listed out. It shouldn't be sentences. We shouldn't be explaining anything. We're just stating what happened inside of our labs, okay? So what I want you to do is, again, pause the screen, go look at your evidence in your CER. Do you have 3 pieces of evidence? Is your evidence lined up like this, right? Just in bullet points and just stating exactly what happened in your lab, okay? Cool. Hopefully you actually paused. Now we're going to go down to the reasoning paragraph, okay? Now, this is, I tried to make it as formulaic and as simple and as succinct as possible. So inside of this, it's basically like a little bit beefier version of a 5-sentence paragraph. So what you're going to have in there is, boom, first you got the intro. That's right. So inside your intro should be the question and the claim. So again, what is the question? And then the claim should be in the intro, right, of the paragraph, because that's introducing us to what's happening and what are we going to talk about in this reasoning paragraph. That should be 1 to 2 sentences. If you can get it into 1 sentence, cool. If you can't, then let it be 2 sentences, not a problem. Then we'll move on down to that evidence. Remember, we said 3 pieces of evidence. That would be the 3 pieces of evidence here. You're going to get that into your paragraph, so those should be 3 sentences, but you need to make sure that they connect to prove your claim, okay? So again, make sure your 3 pieces of evidence connect to your claim and prove your claim to be true, okay? And that should be about 3 to 4 sentences, all right? Then at the very bottom or at the very end of your reasoning paragraph, you should have a conclusion sentence, and that's usually restating the claim. Like, for these reasons, I believe this to be true. And that's how that kind of should look right there. Okay. So if you use this formula for making up your paragraph, you will hit it bop out the park. Okay. And that's what I'm trying to help you guys, is formulate out your guys' reasoning paragraphs, because these are some common areas where I see students like get missing points and things like that. So again, just make sure you have a claim, and the claim should answer a question. You should have a minimum of 3 pieces of evidence, right? And again, in the evidence section, you're just stating that out. And then in your paragraph should be intro, which is question and claim, 1 to 2 sentences. Evidence, 3 pieces of evidence, and then have 3 to 4 sentences there, then a conclusion, and that should get you to another sentence. Now, if you add all these up, that means a minimum of 5 sentences, might go up to maybe about 7 or 8 sentences. If you got more than that, you're going over there to English class and now you're writing an essay. You should just be writing a paragraph. Okay, so there's some other common errors or things that students leave out, and we're going to click to that in 5, 4, 3, 2, and all right, here we are. So you remember we said the question goes right in this box here. Then we said the claim goes right in that box there, and the evidence goes right into this box. So if you've done all these things on your rough draft, your final draft should be easy, just typing, right? You should mainly be typing, right? And the better your rough draft is, the better that your actual final draft usually is going to come out, and the easier final draft will be, because you're not going to be searching all over the place for evidence. You're going to be searching all over the place for your claim or your question. Okay, so this is where you will type in your reasoning paragraph, okay? And then right here is where you're going to insert the picture of your rough draft. And that should be just like this. So we're going to click insert, right? Then we're going to go image, then we're going to go camera. And I don't think I can use it because I'm using the camera, but if you could, you would just be like blop, and then you would just take a picture right here using this camera. But since I'm actually recording the video on this actual screen, I cannot do that. So anyway, long story short, just make sure that you are actually using it for that. And maybe I can actually do it. Let me see if I can try. And sorry, it's not going to let me do it because I'm actually already recording. But then also, if you want to use your phone to insert it, you can. That way it's just a little bit longer. What I would do is I would take, if you want to use your phone, take the picture and then upload it to Google Drive, then just insert it from Google Drive. And again, that's just an option here where it says insert image, and instead I'm going to say from Google Drive. Okay, cool. You could also upload it to photos. That's like another option. But anyway, whichever way is easiest for you. All right, now this is a place where I see a lot of students lose points, and it's because they do not grade their own rubric. So you are required to grade the rubric for your assignment. So again, you should just read each part, the claim. Do I have everything about the claim? Does it answer it? And if you say, well, you know what, I'm not sure if my claim really answers it, let me go none. And then I'm going to click over here, right? And then I'm going to highlight it. And then I'm going to click highlighter and then go yellow. And then that's where I really think my claim is at. But if you grade this, like before you turn it in, you see like it's all the way over there at a 3, then I'm like, change it. Change it so that it answers the question so you can get yourself back to a 7. And if you're like, okay, cool, you know what, I got it changed up, I'm back to a 7, so of course click none, and then you're going to re-highlight over here, and then you're going to be like blat out and then say, cool, now I've got it highlighted. So you want to highlight through each one of these, okay? Make sure you actually have your rough draft. I see this happen with students as well. They just turn in the rough draft, they don't turn in the typed final draft, and then they're wondering why they get 5 points. Well, if you look at the rough draft here, it's just 5 points. That's it. That's all it's worth. So again, if that's all you turn in is the PDF of your rough draft, then you will get those 5 points, and then everything else will be a 0. So you've got to turn in your typed final draft. So once you get all of this highlighted and you put your points down there, like right over, is it right over there? Wherever. I cannot point the right way. Right there. Once you point right there, then you can get this turned in. And remember this about the points. You get 2.5 points for just submitting, and then you get 2.5 points for actually being close to Mr. Farr's grade, okay? So if you're close to my grade, right, then you can get the other 2.5 points. And that's what you should be doing, trying to get close to what I'm going to grade. Because this whole rubric is telling you exactly how I'm going to grade and exactly what is what and what I'm looking for, okay, inside of the grade. So nothing should be surprising for you. So again, That's what you need to do to submit, and those are some of the common areas where I'm seeing some issues for students. Let's go to the actual assignment and just talk about that for a second. If you look here, this is where you're going to click here, and then that's where the copy is going to be made, and you're going to say File, and then as soon as this works, File, make a copy. Cool. Okay, then if you look at part two all the way through part 3, the bulk of where that is, that literally is all of the things that we went over right here on this slideshow. Part 2 is really everything that, as soon as this loads up, it's taking forever. So it's everything that we went over right here about the claim, about the piece of evidence, about the question, about the intro, the evidence, and then the conclusion inside the reasoning paragraph. All of that is what you see inside of right there, inside number 2 right there. And if you go down to number 3, that's type your final draft from your rough draft. Cool. And then take a picture of your rough draft. We talked about that as well. And then self-grade the CER and the rubric. We talked about that as well. And then just submit it and you're good to go. Now, one thing is that for some reason, if you don't have enough evidence, let's just say you have 2 pieces of evidence. For that third piece of evidence, I need you to explain why you don't have the third piece. And that could be something as simple as, hey, we designed a slingshot and the items that we wanted to shoot, one of them was too big, so we only got 2 things to be able to shoot with the slingshot. Totally fine. Could be, hey, I ran out of time. Is what it is, right? So again, if it's any of those reasons, it's totally fine. Just put the reasoning right, list it right inside the evidence, and then after you list it right inside the evidence, then when I read your reasoning paragraph, I'll be only looking for the 2 pieces of evidence. Hopefully that's everything that, well, not hopefully, that's everything that you should need. If you need any help, leave a comment on the assignment and definitely we'll try and help you out. One last thing I think I will just say is that make sure to put your name on your paper. Because if you do not have your name on your paper on the labs, that's one of the things me and Mr. Foy, when we're going through the labs, is we noticing people not putting their names on the lab. So we're pushing that back to you, saying resubmit with your name on the lab. We talked about that multiple times. It's actually in the instructions as well. So make sure your name is on the lab. If it's not, it's going to get kicked back to you to be like, you need to resubmit with your name on it. And the easy way to find out is turn to page 59. If your name is not there, then that's probably you, and you need to make sure that you submit. All right, y'all, that's it for today. Happy November 1st. Wakanda forever. Peace out.